Hey everyone, on Facebook Live again, and I've just suddenly got a croaky voice. Clear my throat a bit first. So, hi everyone, good to see you all on Facebook Live. I'm trying to do as many as I can on these because I want to get really good at it, and I've sort of found that the less I think about it and the quicker I get into it and the more frequently that I do it, the easier and more natural that it comes across, and it's much easier to think about it as well. So that's what I'm doing. I'm sort of getting through on trying to do a live for today, and it was actually prompted by Lorraine in our group, who asked, where else beside dating apps do you go out and meet people, and where do all guys hang out when they're not on dating apps, etc.? And that's a question that I get asked quite often, and it's really kind of odd because in reality, men and women are everywhere. Step out in the street and they're there. Now, I don't mean that you're going to go up and approach every stranger that's out there. But the trick to it is to become social. That means that you've got to actually be able to enjoy talking to people. And you can learn that. Believe it or not, I used to be really shy. I didn't like approaching people, and I didn't like to push myself into conversations or even talk to strangers. So I would always kind of hang back, and if somebody else started a conversation, then I would easily join in, or if somebody brought me into a conversation and so on. But then I started learning how to actually be social. And it started off by just little steps, by just sort of making eye contact with people. When you go for a walk, to actually say hi to somebody. Believe it or not, I used to kind of cross the road because I didn't want to go past them, and I didn't want to have to say hello, because I felt a bit embarrassed, or I don't know what I felt. I don't even know why I used to do that. So I started doing that. I used to comment at the checkout at the supermarket. I would always make a comment or something about their day, or ask them how they were doing, or what time they were knocking off, or when did they start their shift, or whatever. And it all just sort of started a small mini conversation. But it got me a lot more comfortable with talking to total strangers about nothing. Just being social and being agreeable and just being nice to people. So it's a real simple one, you know, just saying thank you to the tram driver or the bus driver or your cabbie or your Uber driver or whoever, when you're in that sort of situation, to, instead of just sitting in silence and not saying anything, create a conversation, say hi and ask them about their day. Everybody likes to tell you about their day. So where else can you find places that you can go and find people that are actually looking for other people? Well, of course, there's the obvious ones. You can go to bars, you can go to pubs, you can go to clubs, nightclubs, you can go to any of those sort of places. The point with those, though, is that when you go there, everybody else is there for the same reason. So when you want to meet people, etc., it's kind of more competitive. Everybody's there for a reason. Everybody's out there to try and sort of hook up or meet someone. So everybody's competing for particular people. And so you're going to have the dominant people there that are going to be good at it, and they're going to leave, and it's going to leave the others behind. I find that to a certain extent demoralizing, because unless you're in that, it's not a good place to go and learn how to do that, because there are a lot of other people there that are doing that much better than you do, and it will make you sort of feel inadequate. So I try to avoid those places. I don't like them. They're too loud, they're too noisy, they're too competitive. Everybody's out there just strutting. So I don't like those places to go to meet people or to find people that I would be attracted to. The way that I learned, which was really good for me, was dancing. I learned how to become very social through Ceroc dancing. That's C-E-R-O-C. It's a form of dancing that that's not many people know, but it's kind of like a modern swing. They call it modern swing. It's very simple to learn. There are no complicated steps outside, but there are a lot of arm movements, etc. But the best part of it on that basis was how you actually learned the steps. It was formed in two circles, ladies on the outside, men on the inside, or vice versa, whichever way. And then they would end up teaching you one part of the move, and then we would do that 3 times, and then you would have to end up one of the partners, either the women or the men, would then move forward one partner, and then they would learn another step. And when they learned that step, then they would move forward again and again and again. So by the time you go through the night or the session, which is usually about an hour and a half, you would have gone through the whole circle and you would have actually met everybody that's there. So at every time, not only did you learn how to actually do the steps, but you also learn how to introduce yourself. So every time you had somebody new that came up to you, and you'd have to end up saying, "Hi, I'm John, how are you?" and so on, and you'd be doing some interaction. And then in between the sessions, they would have freestyle sessions where you could actually go and dance with somebody that you were attracted to, or that you wanted to sort of dance with or practice with, and so on. So it's a very non-threatening place. Everybody's there to do the same thing. Everybody's there to learn how to dance. So it's a really good way of getting to be social. Now, for me, the best places for that is Ceroc, which is run by Katerina, and they're done in North Melbourne on a Monday and then down in Maribyrnong on a Thursday. It starts at 7 o'clock. The cost is usually about $20. I've already posted on the group. If anybody's interested in going to one of those nights, I'll put my hand up straight away. I'll be in that. I'll come along with you. I need to practice again myself. It's a lot of fun, great exercise. I lost tons of weight when I started doing it, and it took me about 6 months, but I got really, really fit, because dancing is really very exercise driven, and it's just really good. You burn a lot of calories in a night. So that's one way that I got to be social. Like I said, I don't like going to pubs and I don't like going to clubs. So the next best thing was I got invited one time to the Merimbula Jazz Festival, and I'd never been a fan of jazz, and I didn't know that they had jazz festivals. That's how naive I was when I started off. So I went on to this festival, which is a 3-day festival, and we just had 3 days of just milling around with people, all with the same interest. So everybody had something to talk to somebody about. And if you're social enough and you are actually able to interact and just approach somebody and just talk about anything, doesn't matter what it is, pick something that they're wearing, or they might be a lot of times they were dogs or something. And you talk to you go and pat the dog or something, which is another really favorite way of mine to actually become social with people. I never miss an opportunity to go and pat a dog that somebody's leading or whatever. They just, I love dogs and I love playing with them. But secondly, everybody stops. If you're paying attention to their dog, they will stop and they will really like you because you like their dog. So you can sort of start off the conversations very easily. What breed is he? What's his name? Isn't he gorgeous? How long have you had him? You know, is he a puppy, or is he an old dog? Or, you know, is that your first dog? You have other dogs? You can just keep adding on to the conversation. It's just as simple as that. So there's no real downsides to this, to being social. There's only pros for it, because you just become a lot more in tune with other people. And from that, again, you will end up finding that you might be lucky, and you might find that the person that you're that is totally compatible to you is that person that you just stopped and said hello to, and they might feel the same way. And God bless you if that's the case. You know, you've been struck by lightning, literally, because that's about the chances of finding somebody that quickly. But if you don't go out there and you're not doing that, your chances of finding that person is even less. And I posted up this morning, I was talking to Tracy this morning about, we both had dates last night, and she was telling me about her date, and I was telling her about my date, and we were talking about, you know, why is it when you're so attracted to somebody but they're not really good for you, and then the people that are really good for you, you're not attracted. You don't have that spark. You don't have that special magic that happens. And I said to her, you know, the chances of finding that quickly are about the same as you being struck by lightning. And she said, oh yeah, I know, and all that sort of stuff. And I agreed. And so to me, the analogy was that, well, if you want to be struck by lightning, you got to dance in the storm. And if you're not being struck by lightning by dancing in a storm, you got to dance through a lot more storms. Eventually, you might get lucky and you'll get struck by lightning. Not in reality. You know, we don't want you to die or get struck by lightning. But the equivalent of it, if you can find that, you know, Cupid's arrow of bolt of lightning that strikes you, and you find that one person that just makes your life complete, that's how rare it is. But if you're not in the game, if you're not at the table, if you're not in the storm, it's not going to happen. So that's what I want to tell people about that in terms of what you're doing. So people are everywhere. And somewhere in that pile of people, there's somebody there that could be your other half that you'll connect with. But if you don't go out there and interact with people, you won't find them. They're not going to come knocking on your door. So start becoming social. Get friendly with people. Be open. Be genuine. Be authentic, and it'll happen. All right. So again, I hope this has been of help to the group. I'm John Sirac from the Experienced Bachelor, and from our special group, which is 45 plus and single again. So if anybody out there that you're watching this, if you're 45 and over and you're single again, join the group and pick up pick up all the wisdom that's being shared by everybody else in the group. And so yeah, do that, and hope to see you on the group, and looking forward to welcoming you when you sign up. So for now, I'll just say I will sign off and end this live. So thank you.